Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is Sumaya Yaiwali, student at Rehan AI Teacher Training Institute Batch 21. Today we are going to explore a life-changing habit, how to develop a reading habit and expand your mind, along with ChatGPT. Reading is one of the most powerful habits a person can develop. It is not just about going through words on a page. It is about expanding your thinking, gaining knowledge, and shaping your perspective of the world. In today's fast-paced digital era, many people struggle to focus on reading due to distractions like social media and busy routines. However, building a reading habit can transform your life in many ways. Like, it improves your knowledge and vocabulary, it sharpens your thinking and imagination, it enhances creativity and problem-solving skills. It it exposes you to new ideas, cultures, and perspectives. Developing a reading habit doesn't happen overnight. It requires consistency, patience, and the right approach. Starting small, choosing the right material, and creating a daily routine can gradually turn reading into a lifelong habit. When you read regularly, you don't just gain information, you expand your mind, improve your focus, and grow as a person. Let's get connect with ChatGPT to explore it more. ChatGPT, I have questions about reading habits, how to develop reading habits and expand your mind.
That's a great topic. I'd love to help. Where would you like to start? Maybe some practical tips on getting into a reading routine, or perhaps how reading boosts your creativity and perspective?
First of all, how can someone start developing a reading habit?
Yeah, so a really good first step is just to set a small, achievable goal, like reading for 10 or 15 minutes a day. And it helps if you choose books that genuinely interest you. Also, having a consistent time, like right before bed or during a commute, can really help you build that habit. What kind of books do you enjoy reading?
I enjoy reading novels. So, ChatGPT, why is reading important for mental growth?
That's a really good question. Reading is so powerful because it actually exercises your brain. It improves focus, it stimulates imagination, and it actually helps with empathy because you step into other people's perspectives. So it's a really great tool for expanding your mind and just staying sharp.
Right. How much time should we dedicate to reading daily?
I'd say it really depends on your schedule, but even 20 to 30 minutes a day can make a big difference. The key is consistency. If you can carve out a small chunk of time every day, you'll build that habit and see benefits pretty quickly.
What type of books should beginners read?
Yeah, I'd suggest starting with something really engaging but not too dense, like a favorite genre, maybe a fun mystery, or a light science fiction. Graphic novels can also be a great way to get into reading since they're quick and visually stimulating. Once you get comfortable, you can branch out.
Right. ChatGPT, how can we stay consistent in reading?
Yeah, staying consistent is all about building small rituals. So set a specific time each day, like right after breakfast or before bed, and keep your reading space inviting, maybe with a comfy chair or some good lighting. And if you miss a day, don't be too hard on yourself, just get back to it the next day.
Right. What are the benefits of reading regularly?
Oh, there are so many. Regular reading improves your vocabulary, sharpens your focus, reduces stress, and it can even improve your critical thinking skills. Plus, it just keeps your mind active and curious.
Right. How does reading expand the mind?
Yeah, exactly. When you read, you engage your imagination, which takes you beyond the present moment. You start seeing different perspectives, learning new things, and that mental exploration kind of transports you. So it's like time slows down in a really good way.
It also introduces new ideas and perspectives, right?
Absolutely. When you read, you encounter different cultures, philosophies, and ways of thinking. That broadens your worldview, sparks creativity, and helps in new ways. So it's like a constant mental refresh.
ChatGPT, what role does environment play in reading?
Yeah, environment is huge. If you have a quiet, comfortable space free of distractions, it's a lot to focus and enjoy reading. Even things like natural light or a dedicated reading nook can make a big difference in building that habit.
Right. How can we avoid distractions while reading?
Yeah, one way is to put your phone on silent or keep it in another room. You can also use apps that block notifications or set a timer, like saying, I'm going to read for 30 minutes, no distractions. And a dedicated space, like we talked about, really helps too.
By limiting phone usage, right?
Exactly. Limiting phone usage is key. You can even put it in airplane mode or use Do Not Disturb during reading time. The fewer digital interruptions, the easier it is to get lost in the book and stay consistent.
Is it better to read physical books or digital?
That's a great question, and it really depends on what works for you. Physical books can be really immersive, that tactile experience, but digital can be super convenient, especially if you like reading on the go. So it's about personal preference. Some people even mix them.
Right. How does reading improve vocabulary?
Yeah, so when you read, you naturally encounter new words and contexts. That helps you understand their meanings, and over time, you just absorb them. Plus, you see different sentence structures and expressions, which deepens your language skills.
Okay, what is a common mistake in building a reading habit?
Yeah, a common mistake is trying to read too much too fast, like setting unrealistic goals. If you start by overwhelming yourself, it's easy to give up. So it's better to keep it small and consistent and build from there.
ChatGPT. How can
Yeah,
we make reading enjoyable?
great point. I think a big part is picking books that genuinely spark your curiosity, whether it's a genre you love, a topic you're passionate about, or even just short stories. And make it a treat, like a nice drink, comfy blanket, so it feels special.
Does reading help in creativity?
Oh, definitely. Reading exposes you to new ideas, unique worlds, and different ways of thinking, all of which fuel your imagination. So the more you read, the more raw material your brain has to play with when you're being creative.
How can parents encourage reading in children, like 4 years children?
Yeah, that's a great idea. Parents can read aloud daily, making it a fun, cozy routine. Also, let kids pick books they like, use expressive voices, and keep it playful. When reading feels like an adventure, it sparks a lifelong love of books.
Okay, what is the best time to read?
Yeah, it really depends on your daily rhythm. Some people love reading in the morning when their mind is fresh, while others prefer winding down with a book before bed. The best time is when you feel most relaxed and focused.
How can we track our reading progress?
Yeah, a simple way is to keep a reading journal. Just note the books, pages, or minutes each day. There are also apps that let you log your progress or set goals, and you could even do a little monthly recap to celebrate your reading wins.
What motivates people to keep reading?
Yeah, a big motivator is seeing progress, like finishing a book or hitting a reading goal. Also, if you connect emotionally to a story or if it sparks curiosity, that drives you to keep reading. And sometimes sharing what you read, like in a book club, keeps you excited and accountable.
I think it's interest and personal growth.
Yeah, absolutely. When you're genuinely interested in the topic or the story, it's so much easier to keep going. And personal goals, like wanting to learn something new or just finishing a certain number of books, really give you that extra push. So it's a personal blend of passion and purpose.
What types of book will you recommend if the baby is 4 year old?
For a 4-year-old, I definitely go for picture books with bright illustrations and simple, engaging stories. Rhyming books or those with repetitive phrases are great because they hold their attention. And if you can, choose books that tie into their interests, like animals, adventure, or daily routines.
Right, ChatGPT. What is the ultimate benefit of reading?
Yeah, I think the ultimate benefit is that reading opens up entire worlds for you. It broadens your mind, deepens your empathy, and just gives you a lifelong tool for learning, growing, and staying curious.
A wiser and broader mindset. This can be the benefit, right?
Exactly. Yeah, a wider mindset means you're constantly exposed to new ideas, new cultures, and perspectives, which just makes you a more open and adaptable thinker in every part of life.
Thank you, ChatGPT. As we come to the end of this meaningful session with ChatGPT, we understand that reading is not just a habit, it is a gateway to knowledge, creativity, and personal growth. Thank you so much, ChatGPT, for sharing such valuable insights with us.
You're so welcome. I really enjoyed this conversation, and I hope it inspires you and others to keep exploring through reading. If you ever want to dive deeper, I'm here.
Thank you. So, everyone watching, when you make a reading a part of your daily life, you invest in yourself. Every page you read adds value to your thinking and brings you closer to become a better version of yourself. Thank you for joining. Keep growing, keep reading, and keep shining. This is Sumaya signing off. Allah Hafiz.